you would have to give up 5 years of your life for a life full of freedom, adventures, work that matters to you and also makes you happy, would you do it? In today's world, this question has become very popular. Setting high goals and trying to achieve them while still young is the new cultural shift happening all around the world. But as those who already embarked on this journey know, there is a price to pay. To gain money, freedom, fame, or any kind of success, it's necessary to first pay the price of loneliness. Many famous authors and philosophers have written about the necessity of being alone. From Seneca, Mark Twain, Henry David Thoreau to Nietzsche, all creative and deep-thinking human beings seek out solitude every now and then. There seems to be almost a pattern, a hidden link leading from solitude to greatness. Now, as I'm aware that I'm tossing around two different terms interchangeably, let's get these straight first. The first one is loneliness. Loneliness is a feeling of being alone or forsaken. It can be sudden or chronic. It's usually used more in a negative context. It implies that you miss being in someone's company. Loneliness is overall an emotion. The second one is solitude. Solitude is a state of being. It's connotated slightly more on the positive side, although it could be seen as neutral as well. Solitude means being alone but not lonely. Solitude is more of an abstract description of a person with nobody else around. In solitude, you feel rather free than abandoned. The reason these terms can be used more or less interchangeably is that one follows the other. If you want to become great at anything, you'll inevitably experience both of them. You will have to spend months and years in solitude and be prepared that sometimes loneliness is gonna eat away at you. Even being an introvert doesn't make you bulletproof in this aspect. It's true that introverts are generally much more capable of thriving rather than just surviving in solitude, but even a first-class introvert, as Nietzsche, got caught by nagging little rat, as he says. In loneliness, the lonely one eats himself. In crowd, the many eat him. Nietzsche was almost obsessed with solitude. He spent whole weeks being alone, brooding over the meaning of life, origin of the world, morality, power, etc. He took long walks in nature on a daily basis, contemplating his very controversial yet also extremely empowering philosophy that we keep quoting and searching out more than 120 years after his death. He knew that loneliness is the price for becoming exceptional and paid it many times over. In his book Thus Spoke Zarathustra, the protagonist leaves his city for 10 years to spend them in solitude so that he can gain true wisdom and eventually come back to preach it. Now, it's not necessary to disappear for 10 years somewhere into the forests and mountains. But if you want to accomplish something truly great, long periods of solitude along with feelings of nagging loneliness will be necessary. Usually we are talking years rather than months. Nietzsche and the other named philosophers are definitely not the only examples. Think of Elon Musk. Why does the richest man on this planet live in a small rental property in Texas when he could probably buy the whole Texas alone? Why does he sometimes sleep in the office when he has children at home? There is always a price to pay. The reality is that solitude along with loneliness can't be parted from greatness. Loneliness is the tax we pay for greatness. But it's a price worth paying. If you have watched the whole video until here, I would like to leave you with one personal tip. If you spend most of the time alone, grinding away, trying to build your own business or master some craft, when you feel lonely, listen to audiobooks, especially to the audiobooks of your favorite authors. I mention audiobooks specifically because of the effect they can have if they are narrated by the author alone. If you listen to them often enough, they very quickly take on a life of their own in your head. Before you realize it, they start to chit-chat in your head and comment on what you are currently doing. It doesn't have to be only audiobooks, videos work just as well. This can not only diminish the unbearable loneliness, but also simulate as if you actually had your own mentor. I use this technique whenever I feel lonely or not motivated, and have had many wonderful conversations with my all-time favorite author Robert Greene, although I have never seen him in person. It takes time but can be immensely helpful when the dark lonely hours come around. Try it out and let me know in the comment section if it worked for you. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time, fellow thinker.